Hi, I'm Matthew Ashimolowo, coming to you today to share with you something so unique, so powerful. And make sure you follow, make sure you watch, and make sure you invite others, and make sure you share this video. 30 powerful reasons why Nigerians in the diaspora do not invest at home. You may say, why? How would you know? What experience do you have? Well, 6 Nigerian passports, 4 British passports that tell you I'm a serious traveler. 6 Nigerian passports starting from 1978. As you can see, the first one there, which was my first journey. To date, I'm now 42 years living in the United Kingdom, 4 British passports. So I believe I'm an authority to speak to you on this subject. First of all, the Nigerian person who lives abroad has various reasons why he went there. Some for economic reasons, some for educational reasons, some purely for relocating. Another group of people, they were born there, then they went back when they felt Nigeria was not convenient for them to live. Any which way you go to the diaspora, whether it is the Western Europe, America, Canada, Asia, or the rest of Africa, as in South Africa, Ghana, etc., you are a diaspora wherever you are. And it's interesting. Many do not at all invest. Rather, they send emergency money. Somebody wants to go to school, they send money to him. A parent needs some food, they send money. Somebody needs to buy medicine, they send money. But they do not realize all this is not investment. Today we have ICE in the United States of America. Some people who deliberately did not even pick up an American passport and have lived there for like 20, 30 years and have only been renewing their green card are now faced with a challenge. Somebody might just say, you are leaving tomorrow. Some have served in the American army and suddenly they are told they are strangers. If you come back to Nigeria today, where will you go back to? Your grandfather's house in the village? You can no longer cope. Your children can't even fit. 30 reasons why Nigerians don't invest, and we will deal with most of them because they are either myths or stories that have been bandied around. Number one, a fear of fraud and scams. Let's just look at the trust and systemic fears issue that covers why Nigerians don't invest. So number one among that is fear of fraud and scams. Yeah, there is fraud in Nigeria, there's scam in Nigeria, but so it is across the world. The Nigerian setting has had the notoriety, but I can say boldly, or let me put it in a legal way, it is alleged that Russians are big frauds. It is alleged that Northern Koreans too are. It is alleged that there is Chinese fraud. I only said it's an allegation. And there's stealing everywhere. Parked a nice Prado in front of my house in suburban Essex, UK. Woke up the following morning, can't find it. Within hours, it has gone to the shores. Somebody has shipped it out. Number 2 reason why Nigerians do not invest is lack of reliable property verification. They say there's no way we can verify property. Well, I'd like you to know, yes, that is true. But one thing you've got to know is this. Nigeria is not the only place where you cannot verify property very well. It's across Africa. But the country has tried its best. There is a certificate of occupancy system. There is a global allocation system. There is an accession system. These help people to be able to manage property and to be able to get documentation. If you go to the right people, for example, if you come to us at Makarios Luxury Properties, we have a habit of not wanting to ever sell until the documents are ready. And if it is in process, we'll let you know. So you bought with you knowing we are processing. However, we are very sure that the documents will come out. The third is Bad past experiences. Who doesn't have bad past experiences? Who doesn't have regrets? The man who sold DOS document to Bill Gates, which later became Microsoft, is still biting his finger. He sold it $23,000. It is what gave birth to billions of dollars. Everyone has regrets. As for land, we all have regrets. We've lost some land. But you see, he who is afraid to throw the dice will never throw six. If you are afraid to invest, you will miss out on opportunity. Guess what? If you like it or not, Lagos is going to be the largest city in the world by 2050. That's just 24 years' time. Just 24 years' time, Lagos will be 40 million people minimum. 10,000 people move into Lagos every day. Currently, they say there is a shortfall of 20 million houses. Even the government is just speaking conservatively. By 2050, the land you looked at today and said, hey, it's a bush, it's far. Makarios, where did you say it is? Will become gold by that time. So you need to take advantage. Number 5, weak legal enforcement. Yeah, difficult enforcing contracts or recovering investments. That's true, but nonetheless, the Nigerian legal system may be tedious, but the process is genuine, the process is good, and every day the government is making sure it's tight. That's also the reason why when you also are buying, you must buy with people who, to back the legal document, they also have a reputation to protect, a name to protect. The 6th fear people have is fear of government policy instability, sudden regulations, demolitions, or taxes. I would not speak for the government, but I can tell you that some of the demolitions, they have cried wolf without telling the full truth. In the majority, some of them built where the government said, don't build. You and I who live in the diaspora, we love the trees around our houses. We love the flow of water. We've never had our houses flooded. Around my house in England, trees were planted by the people who built the house. I have no permission to trim the tree without applying to the local government. Nigeria, everybody just, I know an uncle, I know a cousin. Even estate builders do it. That's why you should connect with a company like Makarios who wants to follow due process. So sometimes what the government is doing in demolition, you need to ask questions. People know the process. There is a certificate of occupancy they did not get. There is but the certificate of occupancy is not the right to build. There is physical planning approval. They did not get approval. There is building control. And in case you are saying, isn't that a lot? It's because in the US, in the UK, and in the West, some of these processes are handled by consultants. As a man, a pastor, who has had to get approval for several church buildings, approval in the Western Hemisphere is like pulling teeth without anesthesia. It's tougher, harder, more difficult than ever it is in Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the simplest, easiest. The problem we have is somebody is trying to cut the corners, and of course we cannot lie and we cannot deny. There are government officers who also want a backhand. But if you have your documents, if you put your foot down, you can get what you need. But then also that's why you come through Makarios. We at the front, we take all the bullets for you. And you just got your land. You got your documents. You're able, when you want to build, you even give us the money to help you apply. We apply for the documentation. You get your building permit. You have no issue. It is those who want to go there and banter and argue and name some uncle they know that go through trouble. The second segment of our talk today on the reasons why Nigerians do not invest. Number 7 is currency devaluation. Yeah. It's an African issue. It's like every time a new government comes to power, Naira stands the risk and is devalued. But hey, ladies and gentlemen, the currency in your country too has been devalued several times. It's just that they know how to do it, like the tiny rats that eat the dirt under your feet and blows the wind, so you blow some air so you don't feel that it is biting you. When I got to the United Kingdom, a loaf of bread was 18 pence. Today it's almost 2 pounds. I didn't know when it was rising, but it rose. You see, actually, if you know how to turn it around, currency devaluation in Africa is the advantage of the diasporian. Because when the currency is devalued, the land is not devalued. You buy the land. As they devalue the currency, the land increases. Today, I'm doing this teaching from Lagos. Right now, because the currency was devalued, all landlords have jacked up their rent. Double, triple, quadruple. That's what property does for you. It gives you the power, the possibility, the capacity to be able to have something that delivers to you continuous income. Whether they devalue or not, land does not die, does not move, does not shift. And if it is not in your village, but in the place of demographic pool, that is where crowd are moving to, your property goes up. Number 8, inflation concerns. Yeah, fear that returns will be eroded. The fear that returns will be eroded. That's true. But cumulatively, one of the things you will find is even if returns are eroded, you become a smart investor. Instead of taking that Naira and banking it, you use it to buy another plot, and you use it to buy another house. So instead of you leaving it in the bank where the money is going down, you are getting properties. Rents, the tenants are helping you to buy another property. As they pay all their rent, you buy another land. You buy another property. Before you know, you have a couple of properties in your hand. Inflation concerns in Africa is truly high. That's true. High inflation in Africa, sometimes when they say 38%, it's very difficult to believe it's much higher. However, if you do it the way we said, you gain more. Number 9, lack of structured investment vehicles. They are out there. It's just that there are not many. Maybe you've not researched. There are REITs, real estate investment trusts, which you can actually go on the Nigerian Stock Exchange and check, and you'll find managed portfolios. A few real estate managed portfolios have come up, and you can invest through them. And also there are financial portfolios, of course. But today we speak more about real estate, and we're challenging you that you can do it. And then number 10, limited access to financing. Yeah. Africa doesn't have a great mortgage system. It is weak compared to the countries abroad. But you see, our banks, though they boast that they are PLCs, there's a lot of wastage I cannot deny. While some of our banks in Nigeria, who are a tiny fraction of Barclays in the UK, they have 4 jets. Barclays does not have 1 jet. Some of our banks have 6 jets. Bank America, you may find that only the president of the bank has a jet that flies him. There is wastage in our banks. There is weakness. But you know the reason? There isn't enough cash base. But you see, it gives you, the diasporian, an advantage, because your $1,000 immediately transforms to 1 point, as at today's exchange rate, 1.4 million naira. And that takes you close to the purchase of a land. In fact, it may become the deposit for a land. So yes, there are pluses for the West, but there are also pluses for Nigeria. And guess what? In case you didn't realize, I'm doing this video during the Iran war. My conviction is that this is the biggest investment window for the diaspora. I wish our governments even see what I see. Because the day the bombs began to land in Dubai, in Kuwait, in Qatar, property value went down 40%. Nigeria's value will not go down, rather it will increase. And with some of the infrastructures like the coastal road being put, I see a development of seaside houses. And the unfortunate thing, my dear diasporan, fellow diasporan, is that many times it's people outside our own culture that will come and take advantage. I may sound a bit, I'm not racist or prejudiced, but it is painful for me when I see very big companies that just sell commodities and food in Nigeria and not a penny stays here. The largest, most consumed food in Nigeria, apart from rice and beans and gari, is Indomie. And most of the money goes to India. Learn from that.